So two things. One, as I said, criminals send those things every day. This is an app that I never once opened, period. There are a couple ways that I can just easily show that to you. So that for every day, and we organize things by day as well. We see in the beginning of the day, every single day. That's the other thing they're gonna show. So that was not by me. This was accidentally, but that one was not. You know how's the last? How was way to show? Choose one. It's a video app that has unstoppable notifications. Or even this. Okay, so that is that. We're gonna put that online in a minute. Sound none. Oh, how much you can do? Not a hint that this is not used at all. So you see the other ones don't exist, only this one. So those popular videos starts itself, cannot be deleted, cannot do anything. I do this periodically, and as you saw, that doesn't change anything. So I already tapped this, just showed up. By the way, first off, when I arrived in here, right here, there was this thing, when I switch sides from that to here, there'll be the other one, this. So this is from earlier, like right now. I was there in the sun, I moved the thing to this side. As soon as I lean against here and I open the game to check on it, there'll be then, obviously. As you can see, that's not configuration that normal human beings can have for the fingers. Besides, it doesn't matter if I was doing this, how would be pressing the volume down and power button at the same time with my penis, my two penises, that is. So, more power to them. There is, now we no longer can see. It was very quick, probably not designed to be there. And this is the one, again, still playing the game. This one will be that. And in the context of today being 5th of May 2026, 9:54. Now imagine if all of a sudden this becomes very relevant later. But as I said, don't open it. Let's pick up, for instance, yesterday's one. You're gonna see, I often mention that they always something related to this crime under a reasonable light. There are other words in this language that they're not bizarre or related, incredibly related, right? Could be something about kittens, although that would be or puppies, or some crime that happens somewhere, things that normal people are concerned about, and will be watching videos over, right? Funny things like we see every day, and yeah, every single day is something like this. Where's the other one? Now again, I don't use that thing at all, period, and it doesn't share any of the other things with Google because it's a Chinese company. And again, more power to them saying that they are going to be sharing information with each other, people's information no less. Don't need to comment on that one, just placing that very clearly. Also, there's a lot of conditioning for me to buy this phone over there. As I said, all those screenshots are taken for a reason, and I've been actually announcing that I was going to do this for quite some time. That just adds up to the layers, as I mentioned before. Very few criminals will do that. Crimes. That means bravery. This is going to YouTube right now, by the way. So, by the way, that would be the Truman Show phenomenon. Don't think I need to explain that one. But, as I said, the bad examples in this involve when I was just commenting on things. Yeah, that's for the baby. It's almost always like that. Even the connections that they are flimsy are still quite there, right? And as I said, it's not like a 1 or 2 day thing. It's every single day. You don't have a single day when there isn't, because again, why would they? They don't think they need to hide their crimes. As I said before, drugs in front of a police station. They could throw the drugs anywhere to have an effect. You throw drugs in front of a police station to send a message. Just relaying that to you. Because of course I would, and they would know that I would. So as I said. And even if they say that those things are just colloquial and normal, you can trace that to not one, usually, but many crimes. Which just means essentially they be saying that they have so many variety of crimes done to me, proved in video already. So you're not talking about the crimes anymore, just about what they do. That you can do that. And since again you're not trying to convince the criminals, you're trying to convince other people. You can just quote them. Just do direct quote. Hey, they said that those things are so normal. And each and every single one of them can be traced back to 1, 2, half a dozen crimes, brutal or otherwise, on record. And you can use their own codes to them. Which, don't worry, they're trying to do the same thing to me. They think it's going to be cool for them. That's, as I said, same thing for this. Notice how many of those exist there? As I said, every single time we see it, well, case in point, every single time is something caused by them. Sometimes it happens at 0 gigabytes. I'm gonna see the other one. Sometimes it happens at half a gigabyte free. This was probably after a day when I was fat when something happened there. Now let's say if instead of this you be like a teacher, right? Because that would make some sense in this context. After all, if you remember the things that they were saying, particularly about the phone and etc. Which day is this? This is 28. The 27th was when the phone disappeared. Remember the phone that the security guard in the mall mentioned specifically they cannot guarantee the safety over? Because that would be a big surprise. That was a big surprise. So, there you go. Now, imagine what you think is more likely. A random security guard, and again, that means security, not police, not law enforcement, specific private security, right? So, what do you think is more likely to a random video for the masses? Something with teacher, something with like lawyer, or something with all those professions that are far more usually dealing with people in a day-to-day basis in a minimal fashion, right? If you say, teachers are more equipping for kids, again, you're gonna see when it gets there. But there are tons of other options. I'm just mentioning. This happened the next day, the day after I mentioned the. Again, how much space this time? And again, I always tend to keep free space, little free space, to prevent them doing other things to the phone. 200? Yeah, this time 200. As I said, it's completely random. But it's not random because it's done by them, but it doesn't have any correlation to actually claims it does. 600 megabytes. Another thing, those random phone calls, they reduced that a little bit these days. Instead, that they do a lot of things. Although recently, like a couple of days ago, he's been doing that a lot as well.